Hey everyone, this is Senior Stationery, and today's review I'm gonna look on the history of new Rubbermaid brands, Sanford, Rotring, um, and Papermate's eraser pen history and evolution. Oh, hello there, Lego Man. Thanks for showing us the erasers. So let's begin. First, the one who started the whole eraser pen was Rotring. After Rotring was bought by Sanford at some point, they launched the Tiki eraser. As you can see, the Tiki eraser is pretty much the one that began the whole style of a push button and advanced like a mechanical pencil. What does this one have in particular? This is the 1980s one, the first one they launched. As you can see on the plastic, they have Rotring embossed. Over here they have printed Tiki eraser and Rotring's iconic red ring painted over here. This eraser pen has a triangular barrel. You can see some ridges, and it's a whole triangular over here on the bottom, while the rest of the pen is cylindrical. As you can see, it has black plastic clip and black teeth with a gray ring. Very sturdy, very well made. Doesn't say where it was made, but I assume for the style and the quality looks like it could have been made in Japan, most probably. So this was the 1980s one. Here is a black one as well. This pen came in I believe 5 colors: white, black, light blue, yellow, and pink. So this also is a vintage one, 1980s one. And this was, well, the one that started it among the new Rubbermaid brands. They eventually made a slight restyling during the 90s, and then they eventually dropped this model, which I think it's sad, as it was a very good eraser. For the 1990s, what did they do? They dropped the logo here, the Rotring. They brought it down. Sorry, they brought it down here and printed it in silver print. Now you can notice Rotring. You can see that Rotring Tiki eraser. And they moved rather than having it on the middle of the barrel, they moved the red ring as here, as this part when it propels. So it's more subtle, more discreet, and you appreciate more the full color barrel of the pen. Same here on the black one, you may notice a little bit better. Rotring Tiki eraser, and the red they brought it down here. Same triangular barrel, they didn't make a change. So basically a very works pretty good and well made plastic eraser. Then what happened? Then came Papermate when Sanford bought it. I believe this was still when I don't know if Gillette had already sold Papermate or Sanford bought it at this point, and Papermate launched the eraser. As you can see, it has an E and then like a slash and then razor. This was launched in the 90s. This particular model, as you can see, it's kind of rare. It's actually a lefties one. As you can see, it has printed on the left rather than on the right. I remember having a right-sided one, a black. It used to be a black barrel and gray accents, the gray clip and gray end. I unfortunately gave that one away, so I kind of regret it because it's a very rare model now, very hard to find, and I just gave it away. So I was lucky that a friend gave me this one, the pink one, and I believe this eraser pen was producing several colors. Among them, this one, the pink one. They also made black one, red one, green, yellow, blue, and I think that's about it. So it was very colorful, very many options. This is a very rare one, to be honest. I don't know how I could find the pink and lefty one. That's a double rare one. But if we compare this to the Rotring, I mean, the clip looks the same, fairly same, the barrel, except over here. Over here we just have it a more oval-like and some ridges, so it's more discreet compared to the triangular with ridges, with some stripes and ridges. Over here it's a ridge, but it's more like a, I don't know, like a beehive sort of like shape, like a bulb, something like a bulb from a flower or something. But it works, it's fairly comfortable still to work with it. And also from Papermate they made this one, kind of like a cheap one, or rather generic. They just have Papermate printed, they don't have any logos or anything else. The clips is slightly more less sturdier if we compare it. Look, it still works, but if we see this one, it looks more sturdy, more complete, and this one's more kind of flimsy, sort of, and more prone to bending. Same end part, same oval shape like, and ridges, and still works. I mean, it's just a eraser pen, so that's not much deal to it. But these were launched around sometime in the 90s. This one, the black one, used to be my dad, so I don't know where he bought it, probably somewhere in US, because I don't remember seeing this one here in Mexico. But this one, this could be saw here in Mexico, I remember, back in the 90s. Then Sanford itself sorry, Sanford launched their own eraser pen, Sanford brand, the Tough Stuff eraser stick. This is made in Japan and has always been made in Japan. If you look at the barrel, it's kind of rubbery. It brings a lot to mind many of the pens with the whole fad in the 1990s, when they had all rubber grips and rubber barrels. So this one brings a lot to mind the Papermate Flex grip, in my opinion. It's kind of maybe they based on that one, or they were inspired by that style. As you can see, this tip is more narrower. The full eraser is all plastic made. You pop up, you can drop inside the refill, or you can refill it from the bottom as well. And this one's much narrower, say, than the other regular eraser pens. As you can see, this is the regular and this is the Tough Stuff, so it's more narrower, for more narrower drawings or detailing. So this is really good for artists, and I believe many people value a lot these erasers, or they're very sought after, despite the fact that they have been discontinued. You might be able to find refills, but the eraser itself is becoming very rare and very hard to find. So if you have one, hold on to it. And this one's pretty much older, since it has Sanford branding. This eraser came in red, green, gray, and black color. They eventually, after Sanford disappeared and stopped producing items itself, they now started branding it as Papermate, as you can see. So this is the same one. This is the all black one. I like this one more, but I like the color. Same, very narrower, and especially made for distinctive for detailing, erasing. And then later came, and these are the current ones, at least here in Mexico. I'm not sure if in other markets you might be able to give me some feedback and let me know. These are the very last eraser pens currently still produced by Papermate, I believe. These are made in Japan. These are called the Erasermate Erase It. So what is different from this one from the older ones? If we look closely, the style, it's kind of fairly similar. I mean, plastic clip, propelling mechanism. This one has triangular shape, so they kept the triangular design, an effective design used on the Tiki eraser and on the earlier eraser Papermates. Same as this one. As you can see the style cues pretty much, except this one on the barrels. I mean the grip area, this is different. I remember the eraser I used to have when I was a kid was a black barrel and gray accents, just like this one, and had triangular grip like this one. So I unfortunately, since I gave it away, I cannot show you. You can just imagine. But Papermate, I think, stuck with the best design, which was the triangular grip area, the full plastic, and just print on the sides. At some point, sometime after the 90s,